I honestly cannot deny. This thing looks absolutely beautiful. Just look at that. Brings a tear to my eye, I swear. Before we start the review, I am heavily biased. I want that to be well known. I love Lego and I love space. So this thing is... yeah. If you hear me for the next 10 minutes gushing over this thing, it's well earned. Let's go. Hello and welcome to Convertabot Reviews. I'm your host Convertabot, and the star of the show today is the Lego Icon set number 10341, NASA Artemis Space Launch System. Yikes, that's a mouthful. Then again, big set, big name, and this set is a beauty. The set itself contains 3,601 pieces that are perfectly proportioned into 27 individual bags. Yes, 27. This is not a small set. It also comes with a nice booklet for instructions and a disappointing sticker sheet. I say it's disappointing because there's printed pieces as well. We'll get more into those later. They're more for the rocket. Now this set is meant for 18 and up. It's meant to be an adult collector set, and as a result, the build is complicated. It's actually a very repetitive build. There were multiple bags or whatever where essentially the entire build was repeated time and time again. However, as the build went along, it actually went by pretty quickly. I believe it took me about 6-7 hours to put together, which, yeah, that's actually pretty good for a build this size. Granted, I've been building Lego sets since I was 5-6 years old, so this is nothing new to me. However, the repetitive nature of the set really does shine here. Honestly, I think there was a point in the middle when I was constructing the tower where 5, 6, 7 of the bags were almost exactly the same, damn near identical, and the build was identical. So at a point, it was almost like I didn't even need the instructions. But I will say this, you do need the instructions, of course. This is 3,600 pieces after all. So, yeah. But all that hard work does yield a fantastic looking build. So let's go over some of the details, shall we? I'll swear by this, every piece has a purpose here. Every bit of railing you see, every bit of fuel pipe, it does not go to waste. And a lot of the details are very reminiscent of the actual launch pad itself. Seriously, I don't care if anyone's saying, oh, this is inaccurate. I'm like, it's a Lego set, it's a toy. But for what it's worth, it is beautiful. Seriously, just to look at it alone, like, shoot, I love having this thing on my shelf or, shoot, on my dresser. Alright, it's not that big of a base, too, so it can fit in a variety of places. It's just tall, you gotta remember that. While the base isn't big, it does use these smooth tile pieces to allow it to move around on its own. It does keep itself steady, so don't you worry, it's not going to tip over anytime soon unless you knock it. And like the actual rocket and launch system itself, gangway can move out of the way for it to launch, clamps detach, fuel lines detach, and yeah, the rocket can just slide right out of its hole. It's basically just connected there loosely, just sits on the base there. And yeah, let's take a look at that rocket then. The rocket slides right out and has a good amount of detail in it as well. I definitely love how the colors are all, well, accurate to the actual thing. Plus the little fuel rods or booster rockets on the sides, those detach as well. However, there is a long Technic rod in those, which normally that would be a bit of cause for an issue, because having a long Technic rod will cause it to bend over time. These are really light. Alright, the entire rocket itself is very light, so that allows you to basically have these things sturdy and secure without worrying about having it bend over time. Very nice. Beautiful attention to detail that's actually outlined in the instructions itself as a little bit of a tidbit is that the rocket can come apart much like it can do in real life. The fuel pods just snap right off, they're on clips, and the front of the rocket containing the actual, rocket actually just pulls apart. And yeah, let's take a look at this. Very small and made to hold the actual module that an astronaut would sit in during the trip through space. This also comes apart as well, and as of right now there's nothing in it outside of this little blue and red I want to say not even a Technic piece. It's basically just a little bit rod that they put in there to it's more of a temporary thing. That is because the actual capsule, or even a satellite, can be stored outside of the rocket. This is a really neat part of the build. The satellite can either be put on a stand, or it can fold up and go into where it goes in on the rocket. Yep, just fold it up, replace it with the blue piece, and yeah, you can plug everything right back together. The module just sits on a little peg in there. Nothing too fancy. Once it's all covered up, you don't really have to worry about it. Now, like I mentioned earlier, there are some printed pieces, and they're mostly on the rocket itself, just the top part here. The rest of the decals you see are all stickers, which is a bit of a downer, considering that the white of the sticker is not the same as the white on the rocket itself, which is a bit of an eyesore. Not to mention, if you're anything like me, I do not have steady hands, so stickers are not the way to go. Though I do love this plaque here, it's very nice. Though I wish they would do a printed plaque, like, say, some of the Star Wars UCS sets are started moving over to. Makes it look a lot nicer. Now, with the rocket out of the way, let's take a look at that launch pad once again, because there are some more detail, including just the general greebling, the area where the rocket sits, which is not going to be a solid area. Little fun fact about rockets, there's so much downward force, so much pressure and energy coming out of them that they have to give it a place to escape. Otherwise, it basically would just cause everything to combust around it, which that's replicated here pretty well. But yeah, all the details on the base, even the little fuel pipes and everything, they all move in conjunction with each other. It's a very nice little mechanism. From the stairs to the elevator, I swear, it's those little details that just make this set feel much more alive. Speaking of alive, let's do some size comparisons before we wrap up. This set is so tall that I actually have to move back in order to get it in frame, and even then, without revealing my entire little setup here. Here's Bumblebee, Starscream, and my little robot Dune Runner. And here's some previous reviews: MMC Navigant, the Magic Square Light of Peace, and the SH Monstars Blue Eyes White Dragon. And yeah, none of these hold a candle to how big this thing is. Which, unfortunately, I really don't have many things that are this tall. Well, save another LEGO set, we will get to that later. And for those wondering, the set is about 2 foot 4 inches tall. Very nice. So, we've come to final thoughts. I highly recommend this set. I'm a LEGO and space fan, so it is right up my alley. But I will say this, if you're just a general LEGO fan or a general space fan, this set is worth getting. It does take a while to build, especially if you're not me, who's a maniac with that stuff, but I highly recommend it. Either way, wait, why is there a countdown? Wait, a countdown? Rocket.
10, 9,
Oh,
8,
no.
7, 6,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. It's gotta hurt. Yeah, I don't recommend doing that. Side note, the set's not that expensive. What was it, like $260 for A set with 3,600 pieces? Yeah, it's not bad. Alright, y'all have a good night, day, whatever. Damn, I'm glad my next review's a medic.